This video is going to show you how to diagnose a Whirlpool or Kenmore dryer that won't shut off properly and keeps running. Safety first, so always disconnect power before servicing any electrical appliance. And remember that the internal parts of these machines are very sharp and can cause serious injury, so be very careful not to get cut on any of those parts. This is a Kenmore dryer here that I have a picture of, and the first couple things I'm going to talk about are very common. Number one, if you open the door, it doesn't shut off, it just keeps running. But if you close the door and let it finish, it'll go ahead and finish the cycle and stop at the end. In that case, you probably have a bad door switch. You need to test it, replace it if it's bad. The second thing that'll happen on these dryers that's pretty common is it just keeps running and running and running. The dial will go all the way around and just keep on going, and even though it goes past stop, it keeps going. In that case, the start switch is most likely stuck on, and you need to replace the start switch. Now for a little more complicated stuff. If the dryer is set, for instance on this one, is set at 40 minutes and it never moves, then the timer motor is not getting power or it's bad. So if it's the best thing to do is test the timer motor. Most of the time you're going to find that it is just simply bad and it no longer has ohms in it, so no longer has resistance and it's just shot. So replace the timer in that case if it's bad. Now here we have it where it runs down to about the last 3 minutes of the cycle and then it stops moving. If that's what your timer is doing, then you're having a problem with it getting power to the timer to advance during that last 3 minutes, which is the cool down part of the cycle. And if you look on the wiring diagram for your dryer, you're going to see that the timer motor is receiving its power through the timer switch, and it's getting it from the white-black wire most of the time, and then it switches over to the OR or orange wire for that last 3 minutes, and that's where you're losing your power when it switches over to the orange wire. And here's where you take the back off the dryer. You're going to see down here by the heating element where that orange wire originates from. It could be burnt off, it could be disconnected, and even more common than anything, the heating element, when they go bad on these models, the power comes through the motor, through that bottom red wire, into the heating element, back out of the heating element, and then to the orange wire. That orange wire no longer gets power from the heating element if the heating element is bad, and therefore it cannot finish the cycle. It won't get power to finish off the cycle on that timer. Hope this was helpful to you all, but those are the reasons that your dryer will keep running and not shut off like it's supposed to, and those are the things you can diagnose and test. Check my videos for how to test those items.